Hi, I want to talk to you about a bug that I found on the Nord Stage 4 that's been there since OS 1.34 and is still on OS 1.44 as far as I know. It's just to show that this version of this is a Nord Stage 488 and we're running version 1.44. I'm just going to initialize all, turn off the piano section, turn on the synth section, turn down the volume a bit. So there we've got a single oscillator in the pure category. If I move that over now to the sync category and select a square wave, that's basically with no extra harmonics. If I move the oscillator control now, you can hear how moving the oscillator control clockwise increases the harmonics of the waveform. It's a classic sync sound which gets more edgy as you move the oscillator control clockwise. Now, if we add some envelope amount to this, you notice that it's using the existing envelope which was set up in the initialization conditions, and it's doing what you expect as you apply, because this control is bipolar. If you increase the knob, move the knob to the right, you get positive modulation, which pushes it up into higher sync and then back down again. And if you do it the opposite way around, it pushes the sync backwards into lower harmonics and then backwards. So that's working fine. Now if I adjust the envelope so that it's now fully on, it's basically a gate that turns it on, you get that with no modulation amount. If you move it positively, it works in effect like the oscillator control in a positive direction. If I move it in a negative direction, it does absolutely nothing. That isn't right. What it should do is do that. So if I move the envelope amount anti-clockwise, it does nothing. If I move the oscillator control anti-clockwise, it does that. If I move the envelope amount clockwise, it does what you'd expect it to do, which is exactly the same as moving the oscillator control clockwise. So negative modulations don't work on the oscillator control. It becomes very obvious if you apply velocity. You can hear the velocities being multiplied by the envelope value. So when you hit the note harder, it produces a higher sync harmonic level. It moves the sync to the right. If I turn it in a negative direction, it doesn't matter what velocity I hit the note with, it doesn't do anything. So basically, envelope amount is not bipolar. Even though it says that it is bipolar, it doesn't work in a negative way. We can also test this out if we select the pitch to envelope. If we select now an envelope that isn't like that, you can hear how adding the envelope amount in a positive way, once you've got a decay to the note, it works. So that works. That if I turn the velocity off for a second, That's sort of working as it should do. But if I turn the decay back to full, so that it's a gate effectively, it does nothing. It does nothing to the pitch anymore in either direction. So the envelope amount only works for the pitch when you have an envelope that isn't just full on or full off. It doesn't work. It should do, but basically it should work in the same way as I was demonstrating earlier with the sync. If we go back to sync, if we turn that off and go back to sync, if you move it to the right, it goes higher. If you move this, it goes higher. If you move it to the left, it does nothing. So we have an envelope amount control which doesn't work at all properly for a gated waveform as the envelope. As far as pitch to envelope is concerned, it doesn't do anything. Doesn't matter what you do with that knob, it doesn't do anything. Basically what it should do is, if you shift it to the right, it should increase the pitch. If you shift it to the left, it should decrease the pitch. And that would allow you to use velocity to adjust the pitch. But it doesn't. It doesn't do that. So there's a bug there, and with the oscillator control itself, it doesn't do anything in the negative direction at all. It only works in the positive direction. So because this is a software synthesizer, it just seems to me that what they haven't done is properly haven't considered the envelope amount in all conditions. And this limits what the synth section can do. Certainly if you're trying to create Jeff Beck guitar simulations, which would be possible if you could modulate the sync in a negative way, you can't do that properly on this instrument, which is a shame. It should be fixed. And as I said, I've known this is a bug. I reported it to Nord back in version 1.34. They said that they'd fixed the envelope amount not working in a bipolar way, but they clearly haven't fixed it in version 1.44. So it's still a bug and it still needs fixing. Thank you very much.